Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Safe Space with Pastor Wale Afelumo. I hope you are having an amazing Saturday. If you joined us 2 Saturdays ago, it was an amazing session we had. And if you missed that, I think you should go on our YouTube channel and watch that. 2 weeks ago, we spoke about a life with special needs children. And we had a couple here who just basically helped us to get into the life of parents who have special needs children and just the struggles, the challenges, and even the victories that they've had. We also had a doctor come in to tell us some medical considerations and some tips that may also help parents with special needs children and what medical alternatives are available to help manage those situations. It was an exciting time. It was life-changing. We got some feedback from people who were thoroughly blessed by that. So you can catch that on our Facebook page, on our YouTube channel. So at this point, I'll tell you to remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel for more informative materials, and also like our Facebook page. Thank you for being a part. Today we're taking it a step further. We've looked into the lives of special needs children, and we're like, so after all of that, what's next? What next? After knowing what it takes to be parents to special needs children and all of that challenge, I have a guest in the studio today that is going to help us unpack, what next? How do we move on from there? How do we integrate these special needs children? How do we prepare them and integrate them into society so that they live a normal as normal will be, an independent life, so that they are part of society? She'll be telling us a little more about that. Again, you can ask questions, you can drop your questions in the comment section, and my guest and myself will be on hand, to answer some of the questions. Subscribe, like, and share. My guest today is none other than Doris Hembadoon Kange. She's a special needs therapist and special needs integration consultant. She is the MD of Unique Minds Integrative Consult. She's a psychologist and has practiced special education needs for over 12 years. She has set up special education units in schools and set up an integrated school. I'm so glad that she made time for us to be here today. Doris, it's so nice to have you. Please join me, viewers, to welcome Doris Hembadoon Kange.
Thank you very much, Pastor Wale.
Thank you so very much for coming.
It's always my pleasure.
Yeah.
Anything that has to do with special needs,
wow,
always call me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I really appreciate that blank check that you have extended to us.
Thank you.
So we can always call you. Thank you so very much.
Yes,
and I know this is a day that I should have been resting and all of that. So thank you for being a part. Now, saying all those things, reading your profile, it's just a mouthful. Special education needs, integrating them into society, setting up. What do you do? Explain to us what all of that entails. Yeah.
Yes. So, good afternoon, viewers. Once again, my name is Kange Doris, like the pastor have clearly told us. I'm a special education needs therapist, and I'm also an integration consultant.
Okay. I'm sure you will break all of those down for us.
Yes. What I do basically is I offer some sort of support, therapy, and then a follow-up on persons living with various challenges of special needs. Wow. And then I offer those services in homes, in schools, in centers, and in fact, anywhere they are, and I find myself there, I'm always available for them. I can never be too tired to be available for a person living with special needs. And then I do therapies such as speech therapy. I also have people who do the physio, the occupational therapy. In fact, the holistic therapy to help these persons live at least as normal as they can be. So, and when we are done with this, I always ask myself, what next? If I've met a child from age 2, and one day that child is going to write WAEC, what next? Like I've been having sleepless nights these days, and I'm sure the parent of these children will be wondering, why is this woman always pestering us? Why is she the one always calling? Because I have some children that are in wire classes now.
Wow. Wow.
What next for these children?
Wow. That's a burden in your heart.
Thank you. It's a burden in my heart. So when they are done from school, what is the next step? And it's what I always ask people. I always ask parents, what next? After all said and done, how do you integrate these children into
And I think we'll talk about
society?
that, what next today. You help us unpack that.
Exactly.
And you've been doing this for like 12 years.
Yes, 12 years counting.
Amazing.
Exactly.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay, so tell me, because as I spoke with the doctor last week, I realized that there's a wide spectrum of special needs children.
Yes.
They are the ones that are challenged in cognitive, cognitively, learning disabilities, mobility, the motor skills and all of that. Can you tell me some of the ranges or the range of special needs children that you had to work with?
Yes, so
in these 12 years?
Yes, so in the course of my working with persons with special needs, I've been opportuned to meet persons living with autism. You know, we don't say a child, this is an autistic child.
Yeah, because you are labeling that child.
You're labeling that child. You understand? So I have had the pleasure and opportunity to work with persons living with autism, persons living with different learning disabilities such as dyslexia and dysgraphia, dyscalculia.
Dysgraphia, that's writing or drawing?
Dysgraphia, that's the drawing.
Drawing, okay.
Exactly. I've been opportuned to meet and work with persons living with Down syndrome, persons living with cerebral palsy, and etc., so on and so forth. Persons living with hydrocephalus, microcephalus, etc.
Okay, I know hydro, that is the fluid in the head. So which one is
and then
micro?
The micro is the smaller one.
Wow.
You know, so yes.
Wow. What about like this physical disability, like blindness? Does that come into?
No, I have not. Yeah, I've not been able to.
Okay.
I've not. I think I should do more trainings on that. But you know, Pastor Wale, there's one challenge I also have: names, faces. Places, and to top it up,
special needs child
languages. Then you tell me to go and learn the sign language. I have all the books. I have all the materials for praise. It's just not clicking.
Wow.
Yes, but then what I do normally is when I'm presented with a case like that, I have had the opportunities to meet them. So I do referrals as well.
Oh, fantastic.
You know, because I have a consulting firm. So what we do is I could do referrals to places or centers that are specialists in those areas.
Wow.
Even this category of persons I've mentioned, different categories I've mentioned, severe cases like the cerebral palsy, that I know that, oh, there's nothing I can do. I always make referrals. And then when I do those referrals, what I do on my own part is I come in as the service provider for that child. So you know that, okay, this is a center, but then there's someone you're reporting to. There's someone that at least have a little bit of knowledge that is checking on this child, and you're reporting to, and then we're following the IEP or the set short and long-term goals that we have for this child.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, but then I love it.
I'm going to come to that. Okay, so I mentioned last week on the show, I think, 2 weeks ago on the show, about a boy I've known for over 20 years, and it's very recently I realized he has a younger brother who's a special needs child, and just been kept in a room, you know, basically. Why is it important, and I think you should let our viewers know, because some parents may be watching, why is it important to educate, to train, to empower this group of people?
That's the special needs
persons.
Yes,
special needs persons,
Well, it's very important. I mean, it's just too important to educate and empower every single human being. I mean, if the whites are empowering animals, dogs and all, I see them training monkeys online, they're training dogs to go for errands and being paid, then why shouldn't we train human beings?
Wow.
You understand?
Wow.
It's very, very important because, see, Pastor Wale, there's something that I worry a lot. I worry so much. I can worry and lose sleep for 2-3 weeks.
Over this issue?
Over any issue. I even worry on things that don't bother me. I worry so much. Now, this is something that bothers me. You understand? We all know that the world is really, really evolving.
Yeah.
At least to a greater percentage, we are no longer hiding these children.
Yeah, yeah.
Back then, I've been on the team that set up a special needs center that is majorly on cerebral palsy, severe cases of. It's a foundation. It's an NGO. Okay. And I've been on a team that I've been on a team that have offered consultancy to set up that NGO, you understand? And then this woman, in fact, I wonder how she sleeps because she herself has been a mother to 2 children
Special needs children.
Yes, were under cerebral palsy.
Wow.
Now, here she is trying to give back freely to the society, you understand? And here she is being faced with children and situations where children have been thrown into the river in this recent age.
Wow.
Children have been thrown into the forest.
Wow.
She goes around picking them.
Wow.
You understand? She goes around picking them.
Wow.
So if someone has taken it upon herself that I'm going to bring this child out from the forest if this child is not being devoured by animals, that means that person is bringing that child out back into the society. You understand? And then at the end of the day, you refuse to empower that child. Let me tell you, it's going to be so much burden in the nearest future.
In the nearest future.
Because we are doing all we can to make sure that we no longer discriminate, hide these children, or deprive them of the basic life and needs they require and need to live. And if we're all out to do that, and you're hiding them, they are a burden to you. Because even if that child cannot be teachable in the classroom, that child can be trained, even if it means with swimming, computer, this studio work you're doing here, vocational skills.
Yes.
Even if it means open the gate and close the gate, and then at the end of the day, I pay you 10,000.
Is that what you mean by integration? I was going to ask. So explain that when you say what you do is not just educating them or training them, but integrating them.
Help back
break that down a bit.
Integrating them back into the society.
Yes.
So you see, there is just. They have every right to be empowered. By integrating these persons into the society, meaning giving them the basic skills they need to live.
Yeah, independently, as much as possible. As
much as possible, thank you. I always like to use that word, as much as possible. Because the truth about it is, no human being, neurotypical or non-neurotypical, can ever live independent.
Yeah.
You understand? That's why there's a saying that goes that no man is an island to themselves. As I'm seated here, I know I have someone at home looking after my daughter. I know I have I have staff in schools that from here I'm going to start running to see what's happening. That means I'm not living independently. You understand? So integration simply means equipping these persons that we feel or people used to feel are not worthy to live in the society with the basic skills that they need to at least live life. And
make them feel like they are part of society, nothing is wrong with you.
Exactly. Just rule off the discrimination. Rule off that turning at the back and looking. Rule off that videoing. Just rule it off. And live with them.
You just mentioned the video, and you told me a while ago about a case of one of your students.
Yes, that was video.
Yes, can you tell our viewers a little about that? And I'm doing this because, like I said to you, I'm hoping this creates awareness.
Exactly.
I'm hoping that it changes our perception, you know, about these people.
Exactly.
So, because many of us will be guilty of what you're about to say right now, or have been guilty of this kind of video thing. We may not have put it on video, but we have that kind of perception about them. Tell us about that experience.
Yeah, so, well, a video was sent to me this morning about one of my children.
Tell them.
That I'm definitely going to go there now from here. And I really appreciate that at least I was able to get that video. You understand? But then some questions were running through my mind. Questions such as...
You didn't tell us what the video is about. You don't want to?
No, I don't want
to.
Okay. Yeah. So some questions were running through my mind while I was driving here, and I was asking myself that, well, this child is a child that has been in this school for years. And I've heard very good stories about this child from time to time.
He's supposed to be a special needs child.
Yes.
Okay.
Why have I never
received,
or why have a video of, oh, this is how good this boy was today, never been videoed and captured? At least so as to show the child that, oh, just look at you today. You are so great today. You did so well today. Well done. You understand? So I felt heartbroken. And I know very well that they will come out fine. They'll come out fine. I don't really panic when I'm told anything about any of my children. And I truly appreciate all those who are helping me. You now see where the independency comes from. If someone hadn't sent this to me, I wouldn't have known.
Okay.
You understand? So I'm always appreciative because it helps me to keep in check what is happening all over the place.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. Now, she didn't tell us about that video, but it's wrapped around stigma. And I wanted us to talk about that so that we also know that these are gifts from God, like we said last week, and that the responsibility is on all of us to let them know that they are part of us, they are one of us, and never let them feel like they are different. And I think that's what, that is about. Now, you told me about you worry about this. I'm listening to your passion, and where did this all start from? Where is this passion? What's the inspiration? Why this group? Where did it start from?
Honestly,
what's driving you?
I just don't know. Maybe because I hate discrimination. Okay. You see, I hate being talked down on. I hate intimidation. I hate it, and I'm one person that senses intimidation no matter how much you try to fine-tune it.
To mask it.
I sense it immediately. You understand? I hate discrimination. I hate being looked down on. In fact, I receive people's fights. I receive it. If I'm working by the roadside here and I see a man screaming on a woman, I'm going to park my car. And we'll join forces. I'm telling you the truth. So I guess the passion came partly from that. I was not actually, and of course my profile, I'm not a special education needs teacher. I didn't read it, sorry, but I am. A lot of people always ask me this same question you asked. Where did this passion come from? And then I just say to them that, well, maybe it's just inbuilt. You understand? Because I recall when I was growing up as a little child, I recall my best friend within the neighborhood. Her name was Guemo. She was a cripple. You understand? And out of all the children, my father's compound had so many playgrounds. He made sure school was at home. And she was the only person I would insist for myself and my younger one to go and get her from her house, come and put her on the swings. I will hold her hand and be pushing her, keep her on the different playthings and play with her. You understand? And then when I went to school, I didn't go to school to read psychology or anything. I actually went to school to read medicine. But then there's one other thing people don't know about me. I'm also very afraid of physical injuries. I'm afraid to see blood. I'm so afraid to see accidents. I'm so afraid to see dead bodies. So I just couldn't stand it in school. So I had to withdraw, pull out. And I came and I said to my grandma, my father's mom, that please, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't even sleep in my room alone. I can't walk in the dark. It's just not working. So she was like, okay, so what do you want to do? I said, just take me to any field that I can counsel people, talk to people, or work with children and all. So luckily enough for me, there was a lecturer in Benue State University that came to visit her. And so the man just said, then go into psychology, go and read psychology. You will still get to work with people, you still get to help people, but at least you won't get to see all those things again. And there was I found myself in psychology. You understand? So the passion is inborn. Because like now during the lockdown, I've been doing a lot of businesses. And you know, each time I receive calls from people, even this morning, a parent called me, Doris, you're now a businesswoman. I hope when schools open, you go back. I told her, did I ever tell you I stopped doing my school runs or my businesses and all, or my school or my special needs and all? At no point did I stop.
Fantastic. So it's inbound.
Yes.
You just
exactly.
You just found yourself gravitating towards that.
Exactly.
That's amazing. You are one in a million.
Exactly.
I believe that.
I'm happy when a child who the parents are being so worried, at least even if that child is not talking. I went around visiting some of my special needs children yesterday, and I went to the last house I went to, I stayed there until after 7. And the mom of the child was like, oh, my boy can do so much. Now he can pull down his pants, he can pull back his pants. When he needs to wee, he goes to the toilet, and he's just pacing in front of the toilet. And I was so happy. I said, you celebrate every single milestone.
Fantastic.
No matter how little you think it is, celebrate it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You are still watching Safe Space with Pastor Wale Afelumo. We're looking at life with special needs children. What next? My guest, Hembadoon Doris Kange, is here, and she's doing an amazing job. Remember, subscribe to the channel, like our Facebook page, and drop your questions in the comment section, and we'll be able to respond to them. Okay, so I come back to you. Now, I know that you're more of a consultant and all, you set us, but take us into a day in the life of a special needs teacher. What is it like to be a special needs teacher? And I'm also doing this because I'm also hoping somebody is listening and a passion may be birthed in them for this group of people, or they've had it but they've never known how to express it.
Exactly. Whoa, a day in the life of a special needs teacher. I don't even know what to say. You know, we've had different names. I'm generally a very happy person. I try all I can to be happy. And people have tagged that as, can't you see the way she's always just laughing? Don't you see the way she walks? Don't you see the way she behaves? Those children she worked with,
they're affecting her
head already. So that's just a brief about the day in the life of a special needs teacher. See, the discriminations the children get, the teachers get them too. I'm telling you the truth. If it's a child that is not on the spectrum that was acting up in that video, other teachers would have come to assist. But because it's a child under the spectrum, did you see anybody come there? So it's a gift. And for me, I always tell my staff, it's a gift. You're not working with persons with special needs for any single thing called money. You're working because it's in you. You're working because you can't sleep because this particular child is not talking yet. You can't sleep because this particular child does not understand some basic skills yet. It's right in you. And trust me, this
so it's quite demanding.
It's extremely demanding.
So it's almost like when you are with a child, it's like 100% attention.
You can't even turn your face this way. And even when you're looking at that child, you don't know what next.
You're talking about, you know, you're not doing it for money or rest. Where do you get your sense of reward? What happens that you feel reward? I'm rewarded, I'm
Well,
happy. Yeah.
when I see the success,
Wow.
when I see the parents happy, when I see those smiles, I'm okay.
Wow.
And trust me, I get my reward too. Because you see my children, they feed me, they clothe me, they house me, I cry with them, they cry with me, everything. Because every child I work with, I'm a family member of that house.
Wow. I was going to ask, how do you collaborate with parents?
With parents?
Yes.
Wow.
And just give us examples, you know, or ways you get to collaborate with parents in raising their special needs children and empowering them.
Exactly. I don't even know which of my parents I'm going to even mention now because they are all very amazing people. But then I'm going to talk about this. I don't even know because if I mention,
you can just speak generally.
Examples,
you can just speak generally.
Yes.
You know how you get to collaborate with parents.
Yes.
Too, yes.
Okay. So basically, what like for me, for first and foremost, I must let everyone watching know that, especially if you're a special needs teacher, the first set of people you're supposed to romance and not the children is the parents.
Okay, when you use the word romance, you know
no,
that.
I don't mean when romance them, but that's make them comfortable.
Okay.
The first person you're supposed to make sure,
to pally with.
To pally with,
yes.
paddy with. Thank you, sorry. Don't take it all the way. The first people you're supposed to be pals with are the parents. Once you get the parents, your work is moving very easy with you. So back to your question now. By the time you're friends with the parents, honestly, okay, every single plan you bring on board, the parents are willing. Sometimes you could see it on their faces that, is it possible for my child to even do this? Then you have success stories that you show to them. Once upon a time, this is the child I have, this is what the child is doing, and this is where the child is now. You understand? So the parents these days, most parents that we have, especially my own parents, oh my goodness, we are one. And the children know that we are
So you give them like assignments, okay, I've done this in my absence.
Continue with it. In fact, my own parents even give me assignments.
Wow.
Because most times where I've stopped, like you see this one, we started the potty training while he was in school. But he was yet to start pulling off and pulling up. But here am I going to the house, he's pulling off.
Wow.
He's pulling
My
off.
next question was going to be, tell us some of your success stories.
Oh.
The ones that gladden your heart. So you just hinted us on one. Are there more?
Well, honestly, I've had a child that have written junior WAEC. Oh my goodness.
From what to being able to write
yes,
junior
from
WAEC?
I met him I think from primary 4.
Wow.
He was brought to me.
Wow. And what was the challenge?
He had cerebral palsy.
For real?
Yes. And I will give it all.
I didn't know a child with CP can get to a point where they will write.
Right.
That is comforting for somebody right there. That is just comforting for some parents to know that that child is not a write-off. CP is not a death sentence. It's not a final verdict. They can still have a life. Also.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that means a child with CP can get to that level to write this. Wow.
And not just a child with CP, any child.
Wow.
And I always say to parents, 90% of your child's success does not depend on anybody working with the child. It does not depend on the school the child is going to. It does not depend on the helps. It depends on you, the parents.
Wow.
You see, this particular boy is one person that I can sleep over. Because the parents themselves are therapists. Not that they are trained therapists, you understand. But the things they do, my goodness. In fact, their whole life, they've devoted like 60, 70, 80% of their life to this boy. And that is where this success comes from.
Wow. Wow. Any other one that you remember?
I have a lot
just
of
different
them.
milestones
There's
that you've noticed.
There's one writing WAEC now.
Wow.
That I'm going to see how he's been coping with his
Wow.
revisions in
Wow.
school. That's the one I told you about. I've
Wow.
been having sleepless nights.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, while I was driving here, I decided that, okay, well, maybe during his WAEC period, I should be going there every day just to peep and give him thumbs up.
What about
from the
younger
window.
children? You told us about the one that
Yes.
can pull and do his toilets and
Exactly.
other ones.
Yeah.
That you
Yes, we have several of them. There's one that was presented to me, not walking.
Wow.
She had no single form of mobility.
Wow.
You understand? But here she is being able to at least roll from the carpet here, from one
Wow.
end of the room to
To the
another.
other.
So you keep a ball this way, and
Go
then
and
she
get
can
it.
roll and go and get it.
Wow.
She's not walking yet,
Yes.
but at least she's
But that
mobile.
milestone should be celebrated.
Exactly. So
Wow.
I have a lot of them.
Wow.
I have another one I started with very, very young. In fact, this was a boy I did speech therapy for over 3 years.
Wow.
I never got any sound that made meaning. He was always giving me what we call senseless jargons. You understand? Ba 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 da da ki 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 ki. Very, very hyperactive. But this child, if you see him now, my goodness.
Wow.
My goodness.
Wow.
We were training him on swimming because he loves water. And another thing I want to say to the audience watching us is always use what your
The child
child
likes.
to teach your child. Because the first thing, the first word that came out from this boy's mouth after over 3 years was water. It was raining, and he jumped up from the chair, went, opened the curtain,
Water.
and was looking. And so I joined him, and I kept saying, water, water, that's water,
Wow.
water. And the next thing I heard,
Water.
and that's
Wow.
it.
Wow, you know, I just listening to you and all of this, talking about dyslexia and dysgraphia or something like that. I'm just thinking, even as a parent, and I know many Nigerian parents, there were things we beat our children over, that it's just maybe the child has, you know, a challenge in that area that's, you know, exposing them to special needs education may have just helped them, you know. So a child may just, you know, by something in the brain may have problems with reading or drawing, and we shouldn't be spanking them just like that. Just expose them to the kind of education they need, find what they like and train
learning
them.
skills.
And learn, wow.
Yeah, the learning skills they need.
Wow, fantastic.
Children learn differently.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're a special needs teacher, then you can teach any child. You
Wow.
can teach anybody.
Wow, fantastic.
Children learn differently.
Fantastic.
I cite an example. I'm also one of those perfectionist people. But then I thank God this COVID, I did a lot of work on myself. No, Doris, give people a chance to fail. No, Doris, give people a chance to be naughty. You yourself, you're not perfect. If people are not managing you, then why? If people are managing you, then why wouldn't you manage people?
other people?
You understand? So from the start of the online classes, there was my daughter who was having so much issues with math. And I know she is not supposed to have any issues with math. And of course, I'm one parent that is always, I check everything, including the commas. So I was always getting so angry at her. This. So one day I had to call the class teacher, the math teacher, after the math class. And I said, my daughter is not getting anything you teach in maths. This. And the first thing he said to me was that, Ma, but I observed that sometimes you hit her. I said, yes. And then she said, Ma, you shouldn't. I said, but I can't control it. Why? Simple things like this. Because I always take her ahead. I have the scheme of work, lesson plans. I went to an educational resource center to get, and I always make sure I'm going ahead. So why can't she just, and she's very active. So why can't she just calm down to learn? And so he said to me that, Ma, you know what? Please give me the next 2-3 lessons. Your daughter is going to come out well. But there's one thing I want you on your part to do for me. I said yes. He said, please stop staying in the house when she's having math classes.
And terrorize her. Wow.
Now, I guess he's just afraid
Wow.
And so what I did was I stopped. I stopped staying in the house.
And the
Once
child
this
picked
morning, I quickly bathe, dress up, even if I need to just drive or just start strolling around.
And the child picked up.
So well. She
Wow.
went back to what she was.
Wow, fantastic. Fantastic. We've been having fun here in the studio. This is Safe Space with Wale Afelumo.
Yes.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebook page, share with your friends, and drop your questions there. Now, what you are saying sounds very exciting and fascinating and doable. Do you think enough parents are taking advantage of this? Enough parents with special needs children? And why do you think that might be so?
Okay, if they're taking advantage of the various...
Yes, I'm thinking that parents who have special needs children, do you think they are taking advantage of the education, the integration that is available? You know,
well,
enough?
Yes, I will say they are not. I will say they are not. And,
why would you think
and
so?
I will say they are not, and I will not blame them for not taking advantage of it. You see, Pastor, we are in a society that the first form of discrimination even sometimes come from parents. You understand? And then there's also this fear. And then what is in there for them? You know, maintaining a child with special needs is very, very, very demanding. It's very demanding. And then there are no support. I mean, what's the basic minimum wage of an average government worker in this country? For crying out loud. You're paying school fees. You have to pay for a shadow, a support staff for children who pose as threats to themselves or threat to others or threat to learning. You have to place them with a staff, a trained staff, that all that staff is doing is to ensure that child learning is taking places to a reasonable extent. And then when you're done from that, sometimes you need to teach them a skill. Because the truth about it is, in as much as we are doing all we can to make sure these persons are being integrated into the society, if we don't teach them those basic skills, then. So here you will find, I cite an example of maybe you're trying to teach a child the skill swimming. You understand? Do you know that the day you're going to teach this child swim, if that swim instructor doesn't take time, he or she is not going to be able to have any other child that day. So what does that entail? You, the parent, will have to pay for that whole day.
Wow.
So yes, parents are not taking advantage of it, but then it's also not their fault.
It's government doing anything because
that's where I'm going to, Pastor. Because they have no single support.
Wow.
They don't have support at all. But you go to European countries, these children have all the support. In fact, someone was telling me yesterday, this parent I went to, the last parent I visited there, was telling me yesterday that one of her friends who have a child with special need that relocated is being paid because of that child.
Wow.
But in this country, they're not even recognized.
I spoke with the doctor too last week. I'm like, even if it's to subsidize their medicine, because the couple that spoke with us, some drugs will cost them up to 45,000. Meanwhile, the mother can't go to work because she's sitting with the child 24/7. She can't go to work. To
manage this child. But in European countries, you have the government brings in nurses to look after this child, so the parents can even take a break. You understand? So there is just no support coming in from anywhere.
I don't know who's watching. Can you just, a word of advice, charge to our government, to who can do something somewhere?
Honestly.
Yeah. What would you like to see government do?
Yes. What I would like to see government do is please assist, especially in the areas of paying the therapists that will need to work with these children. Because if Doris, is being paid to go to 10 children's houses every day for 2 hours, so that the parents can even go to work, or go to the market or go here, I will do it. But then how many parents can afford that? So please, government, these are also your people.
Yeah.
These are citizens of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Please look into their matter. Please, Ejo, I'm begging the government, look into their matter, even if it is not paying the therapists or the people working with them, subsidize a little. Even if it's not that, please give them equal opportunities and rights. Employ them. Those of them that like to open and close doors, employ them at the banks alongside with their shadow. Open the door, close. Doris, open, close. I'm opening and closing. And pay them something, please. Help them, because let me tell you, government of Nigeria, this poses as one of the threats the country is going to have. Because we are no longer hiding them, and we will no longer allow them to be hidden. So a day will come, you will see them all over the street, and they are much. And we all have our special needs. Like I was telling Pastor Wale, when it comes to faces, names, places, languages, just count me out. You understand? It took me to Google and search and keep reciting your name, because if I show you here, I saved it as Pastor Tayo. You understand? I kept saying, don't come and say Pastor Tayo, don't come and say Pastor Tayo, don't come and say Pastor Tayo. You understand? So please, we might laugh about it, but it's not something to really laugh about. Please, government of Nigeria, look into it. Some of you people in higher authorities even have these children. Please don't say, oh, because I have the money and I can take my child abroad.
There are many people who can't.
There are so many, a greater percentage can't. They can't afford it. But if you pay the therapist, what you're saying over there, we have it better here. I've worked abroad, I've worked in Nigeria. We have it better in this country. Thank you. And I know my government will do it.
Yeah, I believe that too.
I trust them.
I believe that
they
too.
will do it.
Yes, I believe that too. And let's have special funds set aside. Even in hospitals, the parents take their children to the hospital. Let them, in fact, the couple we had 2 weeks ago said that they wanted to use their health insurance to be able to access and they said it doesn't cover children like this. And I'm like, no, we really need to do something about that. We need to maybe legislation around this, let this bill be sponsored, and let it begin to help the parents so that these children feel like they are Nigerians and the government knows that that they are there. It's just important. If you can also set up special schools, well kitted, with trained hands to be there for them, and that wouldn't take our government anything to do. It will just really be a blessing, And she rightly said that look at the average income in Nigeria. So somebody's earning minimum wage and they have a child or two like that, they are totally wiped out. In fact, that guy said that, I think there was a doctor that said it, that it actually has reduced people to penury, just having a special needs child. So our government needs to come in. This is something very important, that we are talking about. You're on Safe Space with Pastor Wale Afelumo. Remember to subscribe to the channel, like our Facebook page, and you can put your questions down there. Now, I know you've said this in a bit, but what other professionals do you get to work with, as you do this?
So we work with everyone.
Okay.
We work with everyone.
Everyone
meaning we work with doctors.
Wow.
In fact, I won't say professionals, because we work with everyone. We work with the parents, we work with medical doctors. Sometimes an assessment might require that, okay, the child go for some sort of test in the hospital. Okay, so we work with doctors, we work with teachers. Of course, we work with teachers in schools. Okay, and we work with people.
Physiotherapists?
We work with physiotherapists. We work with the occupational therapists. We work with people. We work anywhere it pushes us to. We work with you.
Wow. So if somebody wants to become a special needs educator or teacher
or
therapist, how do they go about that? Because somebody's listening and a passion is welling up within them.
Exactly.
Tell them as many parts that you can remember that they can take to,
Yeah.
you know.
So there are so many trainings you can do. You can go online. You can do as many trainings as you can. You can go to centers. You can do as many trainings as you can. But there is one thing I always tell people. Practice. The practical aspect has always been the success to my being where I am and where I'm yet to be in special needs. I have never run away from a child. Bring that child in whatever condition. I will do, even if I'm not directly working with that child. Like I said, I'm going to be a service provider to that child. So if it's a field that I know I cannot work, at least when you start talking about it, I will have an idea. Because I have a child with this kind of challenge that is in a center or that is being handled by a professional that.
Okay, so do they get to read, is speech therapy a course?
Yes, you can do it as a course.
Okay.
But
do we have it in Nigerian schools as far as you know?
No, we don't really have it in Nigerian schools. But like I said, as you're practicing, you understand, like, how do I put this? It's just like reading medicine in school, reading gynecology, and then refusing to operate women.
Okay. So the more you do, the better you become.
Exactly. That person that stands in the operating room, handing over those tools to the medical doctor, is going to know more than you, who even read it and sat back. So I always tell people, especially the typical classroom teachers, please, because it's what we face every day, don't run away from that special need child presented to you in your class. Work with that child.
Yeah, by the way, you told me about and I think I just remember, and I think you should talk about that. My thinking until I spoke with you was okay, have a special needs school, and then have a school for our regular children.
Yes.
And even before today, I was reading something online, and I'm like, they are talking about a particular country trying to make them be part of the regular schools. So tell us about that. What would be a better scenario to have?
Well, the truth about it is, Pastor Wale, yes, we could have the special needs centers, but I'm an advocate of inclusion.
Inclusion.
Because I'm not advocating for a community of special needs persons. Once upon a time, we used to have a colony of leprosy.
At the gates of Samaria.
But then Jesus said no. You understand? And integrated them back. So we're not trying to have a society, because it still boils down to discrimination. You understand? Yes, for those very severe cases, they can be placed in centers. But still, you negotiate with schools on days you bring them to school. Let me tell you, children are their best learners. Teachers, sorry. They teach themselves.
Come again, I didn't get that.
Children are their best teachers.
Okay, so children learn better from one another.
From one another.
Fantastic.
Thank you. So, yes, it's important to have some centers. But trust me, out of 100%, 90% should be schools practicing integration. This is also for school owners.
Integration, that's fantastic.
Practice integration, have your special needs units in your schools, and then let these children come and sit in class with the other children. Do trainings for the children, do trainings for parents holistically, continuous trainings for your teachers. Day before yesterday, I was with a principal in from a very, very renowned school in Abuja here. And we were talking about a training I did when I first started in this field for the school. And how did I get to do that training? My younger brother kept coming. Please, there's this particular child in my school. I don't like the way they treat him. I don't like the way they do this. I don't like him. I think you can do something. Come and talk to the children. Come and talk to this. They've even written a petition that that boy should be withdrawn from the school. And trust me, after I went and had that training, my goodness, he graduated with my younger brother, and I was there.
Wow.
I have his videos on my laptop.
Wow.
I was there.
Wow.
I was weeping.
Wow.
At how much there is no student or no prefect that gave a speech and did not include
make reference to him.
that boy's name.
Wow, that's a miracle.
So, fine, we could have the centers, but that's for severe cases so that proper attention and professional attention could be given to them. But you see that integration, we must practice integration. I mean, if we're shouting Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, the lives of the special needs children too matters.
In fact, over matter.
They over matter. Because they're going to be a burden to us if we shy away from them. Our children are growing up. These children are growing up with them. Tomorrow they come out and they find special needs flooded all over the street. They can't even save their money because they need to start giving them, handing it out. They can be integrated into the society.
You know, you said something that is very remarkable, and I've noticed that our children are one another's best teachers. You know, even in your house, you see the last born, how their speed is. You know, their speed in speaking and everything is faster because they have their older ones to learn from, to watch, you know. So in their playing together. So integrating such children with other children, when they see other children running around, something may rise up in a child who has not been walking to want to walk, to want to talk.
Or even make attempts to move.
Yeah, fantastic. You said something about shadows teachers. Support staff. So I just wanted to break that down a little because and you also made reference to in a surgical ward that person handing the scalpel and all those things to the surgeon may do better
than that person.
And I know you brought that up to talk about even being apprenticeship, being around people like this. So tell us who a shadow is, because that may just be where somebody can start from.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So, like, for me, basically, I don't believe in calling people teachers. Yes, I do a lot of trainings, but then each time I offer trainings in schools, in churches, in places. I always find people call me aside. Please, ma, how can I go into this special needs? What trainings will I do to go into this special needs? And the first thing I say to them is, pick a child. Do you want me to give you a child? Pick a child. By the time you meet a child that is not talking, you're like, you go back to Google. Activities. That's how I learned. Activities to do for a child that is not talking. You see them there. You begin to practice them on that child. Practice them on that child. You begin to see results. Activities for a child that is not sitting. Google will tell you everything, including the names. And then you begin to ask, please, ma, when I Googled, when I researched, this is what I saw. Okay, good, that's the name. You understand? Fantastic. So a shadow, you can always start by being a support staff or a shadow. They are the same thing. To a child with special needs. It doesn't necessarily mean that you should take it up as a job in your church. You are assign yourself to the children's department. And then look out for that child that is not sitting, always running about, or look out for that child that is not working, or that child that is drooling, or that child that has Down syndrome, that you look out for that child. Pair up with that child. Nothing stops you from going to visit that child on Sundays. Nothing stops you from going to visit that child on days and
connecting with their parents.
Nothing stops you from, okay, I don't have time Mondays to Friday or Mondays to Saturday. Mondays to Friday I'm working. Saturdays I need to wash my clothes, do cooking, go to market, because funny enough, we don't even rest in this country. But on Sunday you're in church. So maybe while the others are in the children's department, pick out that child, ask your pastor for a room. Pastor, please, can you give me a space? Look at this child. And you know, if this child, if it happens, they're going to say, oh, the miracle has happened here.
Awesome. So, thank you very much. Our time is really fast spent.
Exactly.
Can you say something to just parents with special needs, a word of hope with regards to educating them and integrating them. Just in
a word of hope.
30 seconds, a word of hope.
A word of hope. You have so many shoulders to cry on.
Wow.
I always tell parents, as long as it has to do with a child, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 1 a.m., call Doris. You always have a shoulder to cry on. Call not just Doris, but I know that all persons with special needs, working with children or persons with special needs, there is a passion that we can never turn down your phone calls. And if we can't go to your house, as long as you have something to talk about. You're not alone in this. We are in this together. And another thing I want you to always do, that I always tell people anywhere I go to, is go and ask that woman that has never had a child and come back and appreciate the fact that you have a child.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Thank you.
I've been talking with Doris Kange. It's been an amazing session. If you joined halfway, you need to rewind and just go listen to everything that's been spoken about today. But more importantly, I'd like you to share this on your social media handles. Let people have access to this information. She's a special education needs consultant, and she's done an amazing job. It's Safe Space with Pastor Wale FM. Remember to subscribe to the channel and like our Facebook page and drop your comments and your questions. As we round up, tell us about your organization and how can we reach you? How can somebody may want to reach you, connect with you, and talk to you?
Like my phone
so tell us about Mind.
Unique Minds.
Unique Minds, yes.
Unique Minds was birthed. I first started with I can. But I said I can't do what? You understand? Then I now said Unique Minds, because it's going to catch everybody's attention. What's so unique about this group of people? What's so unique about you? What's so unique about me? What's so unique about a person that has autism? So it was birthed from the fact that we are all unique in different areas of our lives.
Fantastic.
And those areas must be explored. We have
what do
every
you
right
guys-
for them to be explored.
Yeah. So basically, tell us what you do.
So we are.
I know you mentioned it at the beginning, but somebody just needs to hear. You help to set up.
Yes. Yes. So Unique Mind Consult. We help set up centers for special needs in schools. If you even want a special need unit in your home, we're there for you. We train teachers. We train people. We train parents in churches. We do trainings generally. You
can train children's church workers doing churches, right?
Of course, we do that. We do that here. And we offer therapy support in different areas. We are also service providers for persons or organizations that handle children with special needs.
Okay, fantastic. Awesome. You're doing a lot.
Yeah, we do so many
On
things.
easy lies the head that wears the crown.
Exactly.
Okay, how can our audience or our viewers find you on social media? I just always would like that, because somebody wants to connect with you. And I also hope that this exposes what you do, puts you, on that platform where people can also reach you. You're on social media. Would you like a WhatsApp number put there so that people can reach you?
We haven't really created our page yet. It's still
But
work
then,
in progress.
for me, it's even Doris. How
Yes,
can people get Doris? Are
exactly.
you on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook, but I'm on Facebook just as Doris.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's
but
fine.
then my WhatsApp number,
Okay.
I attend easily to WhatsApp messages.
Okay, so just tell us that number and we'll still write it at the bottom.
Okay, then. My number is 080 339 40679. I repeat, 080 339 40679.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay, so she's not like that much on social media, but you can always contact her on WhatsApp, and that's most of the communication I've had with her was on WhatsApp, so you will just be fine to get that number and contact her. Thank you so very much, Doris. It's been an amazing session with you. It's as if we shouldn't stop.
Honestly.
Thank you very much for taking out the time to be a part of this program. We hope that when we need you again, you will be
Always
available.
call me.
Thank you very
Always
much.
call me.
Thank you very
Always
much.
call me.
Thank you very much.
Always call me.
Thank you
Pastor.
very much.
Always call me. I'm available.
Okay.
I don't know when to stop. Always call me.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to thank each and every one of you for being a part of today. I'm sure you have enjoyed this session as much as I have. It's been an amazing time talking with Doris Kange. It's just been an amazing session. I hope that these last two sessions of Safe Space will just bring, create a paradigm shift in all of us with regards to people, special needs people, and also to get the attention of our government to begin to do something about this. This looks like our own little attempt to make noise, and we hope that some other people will echo this noise until these people feel, an integral part of Nigeria, and that they know that they are one of us enjoying the blessing of being Nigerians and knowing that our government cares about them. Thank you very much for spending your data on this. I truly appreciate it. God bless you. Remember, you matter to God. See you in 2 weeks' time. It's Safe Space with Pastor Wale Afelumo. Bye-bye.